Hi again, everybody. This is Dan from Prayer Warriors, and today we'll be continuing part two of our story about the book of Esther and the holiday Purim. Um, Now, you can read the whole story of Esther in a short amount of time, and I'll link below to the Blue Letter Bible so you can read the entire story. I just don't have time to get into the whole thing, but remember, Esther means star or something hidden. And here God is working behind the scenes to orchestrate events to save his people. Hadassah, a young Jewish girl raised by her, we don't know if it was cousin, uncle, Mordecai, through a contest to replace deposed Queen Vashti, became the new queen Xerxes in Persia. Haman, the prime minister, persuaded the king to issue an edict of extermination of all the Jews in the Persian Empire. Haman was a descendant of King Agag, whom King Saul failed to slay when he was ordered by God. This Haman was a trusted advisor by this time. Now, like I said, I don't have time to get into the whole story, but just to summarize, Mordecai at one point saved the king's life by overhearing an assassination plot. In a humorous twist that God orchestrated, as he does throughout the Bible, another example of this is how Moses wound up delivering his people from the Pharaoh, but when Moses was born, the Pharaoh, he knew that a deliverer was coming about, was going to be there, so he ordered the slaying of all the Hebrew boys. But God arranged it so that Moses was raised from childhood on the Pharaoh's dime. So that's another humorous plot twist. The king later saw, when looking through records, that Mordecai had never been rewarded for this deed. Haman, who hated all Jews, but especially Mordecai because he refused to bow down with the crowd when Haman's procession passed by, Haman was commanded by the king to lead a procession through the streets honoring Mordecai. Now, Chuck Missler, the late Chuck Missler, explains what happened next. Esther, on Mordecai's advice, endangered her own life by appearing before the king without being invited in order to intercede for her people. Seeing that the king was well disposed toward her, she invited him and Haman to a private banquet, during which she did not reveal her desire, but then invited them to yet another banquet, thus misleading Haman by making him think that he was in the queen's good graces. Her real intention was to take revenge on him. During a second banquet, Queen Esther revealed her Jewish origin to the king, begged for her life and the life of her people, and named her enemy. Angry with Haman, King Ahasuerus, or Xerxes, retreated into the palace garden. And during this time, Haman, in great fear, remained to plead for his life from the queen. While imploring, Haman fell to Esther's couch and was found in this compromising situation upon the king's return. He was immediately condemned to be hung on the very gallows which he had previously prepared for Mordecai. What goes around comes around. The king complied with Esther's request, and the edict of destruction was then replaced. It couldn't be abolished under Persian law, but it was replaced with permission for the Jews to avenge themselves on their enemies. Now, there's much more to the story. Please check out the links below for yourselves, and may God richly bless you.